Tombstone, Arizona Territory, June 6, 1882. The West spawned many different types of men, and one of the most dangerous was Whit Purcell.
Well, you're going to be as flashy as an Eastern dude.
A successful newspaper man should dress the part.
Well, the hat's all right, but, Harris, this coat.
What's wrong?
Vulture just rode into town.
Him? Mm-hmm. You joking? That's about the mildest looking man I've ever seen. He's not even wearing a gun.
Whit Purcell does his killing without one. He's what you might call a killer's agent. He makes his living by arranging for murders.
What do you mean?
Well, let's suppose a man has an enemy. Instead of handling it himself, he sends for Purcell.
And then what?
For $1,000, Purcell agrees to handle it. And then he sends for his partner, Stu Regan. Regan locates his victim, baits him into a fight, and guns him down.
And he and Purcell collect the money and move on.
Mm-hmm.
Nice business.
Yeah, and they make a fine combination. Regan's short on brains, but he's fast with a gun. Purcell can't shoot for sour apples, but he thinks quick.
And someone here in Tombstone must be marked for murder. Wonder who? And if he knows it. An actual account from the pages of my newspaper, the Tombstone Epitaph. This is the way it happened, in the town too tough to die. Tombstone Territory.
Bartender, set up another round of drinks for the gang.
You figure on being in town long, Mr. Purcell?
Well, that all depends on how much time it takes me to finish my business. Here we go. Oh, afternoon, Sheriff. Would you care to join us in a friendly drink?
I don't feel very friendly.
Oh, now that's no way to talk, Clay. Mr. Purcell's a visitor in our town.
A very temporary visitor. Now finish your drink and get out.
Well, Sheriff, what...
You can drop the act, Purcell. I've seen you operate before, in Dodge City. This is one town that you're not going to get away with murder.
Well, I think that's out of line, Clay.
When you start letting me run your bank, Eli, then I'll let you tell me how to handle my job.
Well, Sheriff, the way you're acting, somebody might think I'm a dangerous character.
Oh? What would you call a killer?
Well, now, that's very strong talk. Why, I don't even carry a weapon. Unless you count, this.
Let me give you some advice, Mr. Purcell. Get on your horse and get out now, while you still can.
I'll get out, Mr. Hollister, when I finish my business. Not before.
He's right, Clay. There are no keep-out signs posted at the city limits. You can't run a man out of town unless he's done something wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, that does make it harder.
The sheriff seems to have gotten out of the wrong side of the bed this morning. Let's drink to his recovery, huh?
Well, I take it you couldn't scare Purcell out of town.
Nope. I didn't figure it'd work, but it was worth a try.
What are you going to do now?
I don't know. For the first time since I put on this badge, I feel kind of helpless.
There ought to be some way.
I can't do anything until they make a move. By that time, it'll probably be too late.
If you only knew who they had in mind, you could at least warn him.
Yeah, it's part of the battle. But I gotta find out who hired him.
Well, you've got your problems.
Hmm.
And I've got mine. Getting out a newspaper.
Just leave room for an obituary.
In Tombstone, I always do.
Excuse me.
My fault, Mr. Ramsey. You got a heavy load there. Haven't seen you in town lately.
Been busy out the ranch.
Any news I can use the epitaph brought your way?
No. No, nothing going on. I'll let you know if anything happens.
Thanks, I'd appreciate it. Hello, Tom. Thought I'd stop by and see if I could get anything for the epitaph.
Pardon me. You're Harris Clyburn of the epitaph, aren't you?
That's right.
Well, you're just the man who can help me out. I suppose you heard about my run-in with the sheriff this morning.
Well, there's been some talk.
Well, that's what I was afraid of. I'd like to call on your good offices, if I may. Bartender, would you give me the...
Well, what's the matter with you, mister? You just spilled it.
Well, I'll give him another drink, will you? I'm awfully sorry.
I just don't understand people like you.
What'd you do that for? I apologized.
You know, for a little man, you got a mighty big mouth. From now on, keep it shut.
Why, you stupid lummox. You want trouble?
I said put a halter on that lip.
Leave him alone.
You keep out of this.
I don't like to see anybody pushed around.
Looks to me like you're trying to make his business yours, mister.
I'm not looking for any trouble. I'm not running from it either.
Oh, now. Forget it, Mr. Clyburn. No reason for you to get mixed up in this.
He started this. Maybe he'd like to finish it.
I sure would.
I'm not armed.
Don't trouble yourself none about that, mister. I carry an extra. Now you have a gun. Use it. Well, go on. Move your hand a little closer to it. I'm not going to draw. Yet. Well, go ahead. I'm waiting.
Harris! There's not going to be any shooting unless you want to take me on.
That fellow started.
I know how it started, Mr. Purcell.
It's my gun.
Well, you ought to be more careful what you do with it.
What do you mean?
You know, you've heard of cases where men were shot with their own guns?
Oh, that wouldn't have happened.
Maybe not.
Thanks.
Oh, you handled that very nicely, Sheriff.
Let's get out of here.
Oh, Mr. Clyburn, I'm sorry that we didn't get a chance to have our talk.
Some other time.
Well, I'll be looking forward to it.
remind me to stay out of saloons.
You act like what I told you's a joke. Now, will you stay away from Purcell?
You act like it was my fault. I was standing there. He came up to talk to me. I figured I'd let him talk.
Now, and a couple of seconds later, that skinny gunhawk showed up. Is that right?
Yeah. It all started with practically nothing.
That's where you're wrong. That whole fight was planned down to the last detail. About 2 seconds more, and you'd have been nothing but an obituary notice in your own newspaper. That fella you had the run-in with? That's Stu Regan.
Stu Regan?
Yeah. We know he's in town to kill somebody. Well, he almost accomplished his purpose.
Me?
Well, he's not going to waste time picking fights with strangers unless he's hired to.
Me? Why?
Well, let's find out.
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is sign Fred here to stick as close to you as possible.
You really think I need him, Clay?
Well, after what almost happened in the Oriental, yes. Remember, Harris, $1,000 is a lot of money. For a man like Regan, killing's an easy way to earn it.
Purcell really made me take the bait, didn't he?
Yeah. A little man with a smile on his face and murder in his heart.
There ought to be some way to stop those two. I'm rather personally interested now.
Until an actual attempt is made on your life, there's nothing I can do.
Well, that's just dandy.
At least you know it's you they're out to get. Most of Regan's victims don't even have that privilege.
I don't feel so honored.
Harris, can you think of anybody that might want to kill you?
Newspaper editor makes lots of enemies.
It looks like you made one real good one.
Well, come on, bird dog.
Where are you going?
Back to the office. I've got a newspaper to get out.
I guess I'll tag along with two of you.
Clay, one bodyguard at a time's enough.
Yeah? So, you know, it's a real nice jacket. Sure hate to see him get buried in it, wouldn't you, Fred?
All right, let's go.
Hollister. Well, hello, Hollister. How's the fair city of Tombstone? Quiet, I hope?
It has been lately. Now that you and Regan are in town, I'm looking for change.
You've got Stu and me all wrong.
Oh? You know, sooner or later you're going to make a mistake. I'll wait.
Well, good for you. Nice talking to you, Hollister.
Here you are, sir. Afternoon, Clay.
Well?
I don't think there's any mail for you, but
I want some information.
glad to be of help.
A couple of minutes ago, a little fat fella, always smiling, picked up a letter. I want to know who sent it and from where.
Wish I could tell you, Clay.
Look, Will, this could be important. It could help to save a man's life. You do know who sent it, don't you?
Matter of fact, I do. Was mailed right here at the post office this morning. This is confidential, remember? After all, he put a stamp on it. Makes it official mail.
Do you trust me, Will?
Martin Ramsey left it. It was addressed to a man named Whit Purcell, the little fat man you spoke of. Ramsey told me he'd be by to pick it up.
Oh, thanks, Will.
Confidential, remember? A postal clerk is sort of like a doctor about these things.
Well, Doc, let's hope you just saved a life.
There be some mistake.
The letter was sent by Ramsey and picked up by Purcell. The connection's obvious.
I hardly know Ramsey. I haven't spoken to Ramsey 3 times in my life. Now, why would he want me killed?
What do you know about him?
Not too much. He bought the Salter Ranch. He's a quiet man, keeps to himself. Doing very well, so I've heard.
Well, think back. Maybe you can place him.
Clay, like I said before, a newspaper editor makes a great many enemies.
Yeah. Maybe somebody you exposed in the newspaper and sent to jail. A man you had a fight with.
Sent to jail. Martin Connors, he was a lawyer. I helped send him to prison for embezzlement when I was working on a paper in St. Louis. It couldn't be. Connors didn't look a thing like Ramsey.
Well, how long ago was that?
A little over 10 years, I guess.
10 years in a prison term can change a man considerably.
Well, without his beard. Younger, maybe 20 pounds lighter. It's possible.
Well, Martin Ramsey or Martin Connors doesn't make much difference. The important thing is we know who hired Regan and Purcell.
Well, frankly, I don't feel much better off. I've still got a loaded gun at my head.
Say, I wonder how this will look on me.
Well, this is a fine time to be talking about haberdashery.
You know what they say, clothes make the man. Hey, that's pretty good. I think I'll order one from Chicago.
Look, if it'll get your mind back to the problem, you can have the hat. You can have the coat, too, if it's any help.
Well, thanks, I think I will. They're about the same size in the chest. Sleeves are a little short, though. How's it look?
Like a newspaper editor who's about to be shot.
Good. Let's hope that Regan thinks the same way.
Oh, now, wait, Clay. I don't want you taking my bullet.
Harris, I don't want either one of us to take a bullet. But shooting's my job. Yours is writing obituaries, remember? Here's what I want you and Fred to do.
Will you stop worrying? Regan knows his business. There's no substitute for experience. There he is now. I guess you owe us $1,000, Mr. Ramsey.
Evening, Mr. Ramsey. Happened to be in the neighborhood, so Fred and I thought we'd drop in on you for a while. Well, Mr. Purcell, this is a surprise.
Nice seeing you again. Maybe we can finish up that talk we were going to have.
Oh, a lot of things are going to be finished up before this night's over. It never occurred to me before, Mr. Ramsey, but you look a great deal like a man I used to know in St. Louis. A fellow by the name of Connors.
Oh? I don't think I ever heard of him.
I didn't think you had.
Well, gentlemen, if you'll excuse me, I have an appointment in town.
Sit down, Mr. Purcell. And you too, Ramsey. Sit down. We have some more company coming. I think we should all be here to greet them.
Now the
Cowboy.
Walking alone in the dark can be dangerous. Didn't anybody ever tell you that? Scared? You should be. Because we're finishing up what we started in the bar. I see your arm this time. Make your move.
This time you have the privilege. Now earn your money.
Well, you didn't earn it.
Hollister.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, looks like you'll live a long time. But you won't need this in prison. Well, let's get that shoulder doctored up. You and I are going visiting.
Wondering who it is, Mr. Purcell? I was getting worried.
Yeah, I was a little worried, too. You're both under arrest.
On what charge?
Conspiracy to commit murder.
Well, it takes proof to convict a man, Sheriff. I don't think you have any.
Oh? Well, some men just don't like to sit in prison alone. Regan did a lot of talking. Fred? All right, Ramsey, you two.
You are Martin Connors, aren't you? Why did you want to have me killed?
Well, I was afraid you'd recognize me.
As far as I'm concerned, you'd paid for your crime. You went to prison. I had no reason to expose you.
You mean you didn't know I'd escaped?
We do now. Let's go.
Whistle me up a memory, whistle me back where I wanna be, whistle a tune that'll carry me to Tombstone territory. If your past has run afoul of the law, it's a handy place to be. 'Cause your future's just as good as your draw in Tombstone territory. Whistle me up a memory to Tombstone territory.
Tombstone, Arizona Territory, August 12, 1881.
Tombstone, 20-minute layover.
I'm not paying forward, but I'd be pleased to help you with your luggage.
Oh, thank you, but I'm expecting my husband to meet me.
My word.
It's quite a rough town, isn't it? Oh, I'm sorry, Captain. Here's your case.
Thank you.
Enoch, what happened?
Somebody tried to rob me.
You're hurt.
Oh, it's nothing, Amy.
Oh, come on inside, Enoch. We'll get a doctor.
An actual account from the pages of my newspaper, the Tombstone Epitaph. This is the way it happened. In the town too tough to die. Tombstone territory. Tombstone was only mildly disturbed when an unidentified stranger attempted to rob the Mayfair store. In the West's fastest growing boomtown, incidents of this kind were so common they attracted little notice. Oh, Clay? Anything interesting over at Benson?
No, delivered my prisoner. How's it been around here?
Oh, real quiet day.
Well, I heard there was some shooting.
Oh, somebody tried to rob Enoch Ward's store this morning. Ward put the run on him.
Nobody gets killed, so it's a quiet day.
Well, it was loud for a while. Ward was in here raising Cain about lawlessness, and why didn't you do something about it?
Oh, yeah, that sounds familiar.
There was also an Army officer here looking for you. Had a dispatch case to deliver to another officer from Fort Huachuca.
Where is he now?
I said something about going down to the barber shop for a bath. Incidentally, I put the dispatch case in your safe.
Well, how'd you get it open?
Never reveal professional secrets. Just in case you don't remember, you gave me the combination to use in case of emergency, remember?
Here's a telegram for you from Fort Huachuca.
Thank you. Make sure nobody else finds out about this, will you?
It was sent to you.
And Harris said it was a quiet day.
Mr. Hollister?
Yes?
I'm Lieutenant Lowry, Fort Huachuca. I'm going to meet a Captain Emerson here.
Oh, yes, I got the message from the fort.
I'm afraid I'm a little late. My horse went lame. Has the captain arrived yet?
About an hour ago on the stage.
A dispatch case?
It's in my safe.
May I see the dispatch case?
Well, certainly. May I see your orders and identification?
Of course.
Thank you. Thank you. No offense, Lieutenant.
Certainly not.
Here you are.
Well, this key doesn't fit. This is a different case.
Try it again.
Mr. Hollister, do you have something I can use to open this with?
Oh, sure.
Very efficient.
It's newspaper.
Mr. Hollister, I wonder if you'd do me a favor. Would you try to find Captain Emerson? I'll stay here with this until you get back.
All right.
See what's in the case, don't you, Captain?
It looks like old newspaper to me, Lieutenant.
Does the captain know what was in it originally?
I merely had my orders to deliver the case, Lieutenant, exactly as you had your orders to receive the case.
If you'll pardon me, sir, It seems strange they didn't let you know you were carrying $30,000.
$30,000?
Consigned to the paymaster at Fort Huachuca.
I had no knowledge of this, Lieutenant.
Are you sure, sir?
You doubt my word, Lieutenant?
How many other people were on that stage beside you?
2.
Do you know who they were?
Mrs. Ward and a man named Cahoon.
Cahoon?
The name means something to you, Lieutenant?
I've seen him around Tucson. A gambler, kind of a ladies' man.
Could he have known about that shipment, Clay?
Well, it's possible.
Seems like everybody knew about this but me.
Does the captain mind repeating exactly what happened on the stage?
We got into Tombstone, and there was shooting on the street. Mr. Cahoon got up to see, stumbled, and fell into me, then got out and ran across the street. Then I followed him to the sheriff's office to meet you, Lieutenant. And you were late.
Oh, that's right. I was here. I put the dispatch case in the safe myself.
Well, surely you gentlemen don't think I stole the money.
Sir, $30,000 is an awful lot of money. Especially for a man who's over age and grade and planning on retirement.
It's true, Lieutenant. I was thinking of retirement after this tour of duty. I was planning on getting a ranch of my own.
I request that you hold the captain in custody, Mr. Hollister, until I can get further orders from the fort. Sorry, sir.
You realize, of course, Sheriff, that you have no jurisdiction over Army personnel. However, in the interest of seeing this matter cleared up, I intend to cooperate fully.
Thank you, sir.
You really think he did it, Clay?
I don't know, but if he did, he's going to spend a lot more time in the Army without pay. So listen, I'll be back. Why don't you hang around?
Yeah? Nothing else to do. If I'm not here when you return, I'll be in my office. Along with the combination to your safe. How's the book?
Dull. What did you do with him?
What'd I do with who?
The captain. Lieutenant Laura just came in to telegraph the fort.
Well, I put him in jail.
He didn't do it.
And just how do you know that he didn't do it?
Woman's intuition.
I wish you'd use a little more of that woman's intuition and tell me who did.
I'm thinking on it.
Ellen, what do you know about Amy Ward?
She likes good clothes. She'd like to be the queen bee of the town, except they can't afford it. Her husband's older than she is, and he's jealous, if that's of any interest to you. What else would you like to know?
No, that'll do for now. When you finish it, let me know how it comes out.
I already know. I read the last chapter first.
Afternoon, Ace.
Howdy, Clay.
Ace.
Yeah,
So you drove that stage in from Tucson this morning, didn't you?
that's right.
Well, you know Amy Ward?
Yeah, she's a nice-looking woman. She rode in with me today.
Well, how much baggage did she have?
And it's funny that you'd mention that. I thought it was kind of peculiar at the time. Making that trip there and back with just a hat box. Don't seem to make sense, does it?
Well, I guess it depends on why she made the trip.
Well, now, Clay, you've rode those coaches. You know that people don't ride them just for the pleasure.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Thanks, Ace. Mr. Ward?
Afternoon.
Oh, good afternoon, Mr. Hollister. Something in crepe de chine?
Oh, not today, thank you, Miss Ward.
Well, maybe you're in the wrong department.
Yes, could be that.
Well, if you will tell me what you want, I'll be very happy to help you.
You were on that Tucson stage this morning.
Amy, time to close up.
I understand you had a little bit of trouble.
You're a little late with your investigation, aren't you, Sheriff?
Yes, ma'am.
And why don't you go out and catch the one who did it and stop bothering us?
That wasn't what Mr. Hollister wanted, Enoch.
Well, what does he want then?
I'm not really sure. You wanted to know whether I was on the Tucson stage this morning? I was.
What is all this nonsense?
Please, Enoch, if we can be of any help.
Would you mind telling me why you went to Tucson?
To do some shopping, I bought a hat.
How many other people were on the stage?
Oh, come along, Amy.
Just a moment, Enoch. There were 2 other passengers besides myself, a Mr. Cahoon and a cavalry captain.
And nobody else got on or off?
No,
Was the captain carrying a dispatch case?
I didn't notice.
Look here, why are you bothering my wife with all these questions?
Because $30,000 was lifted from that stage. Army payroll.
How terrible.
Yes, Captain thought so.
What has all this got to do with Mrs. Ward?
She was on the stage.
I think you'd better leave, Hollister. If you have no specific charge to bring against my wife, get out.
Mr. Ward, there's no reason getting yourself all upset. Or do you have a reason?
If you think I'm going to stand idly by while you accuse my wife of thievery...
I'm not accusing anybody. Incidentally, I'd be careful of that. It could be dangerous if you don't know how to use it.
It might surprise you to know that I'm considered an expert marksman.
Well, no, that doesn't surprise me at all. I might have to shoot real good. Miss a big close-up target 5 times. That man that tried to rob your store?
Would you like that one, Mr. Hollister?
Oh, well, no thank you, ma'am. But I was thinking of buying a hat for a friend of mine, birthday present.
Well, what type of hat did you want?
Oh, well, I don't know. I never bought a hat before. But I always have admired Mrs. Amy Ward's taste. What kind of hat would she buy?
Just a minute. Mrs. Ward bought this exact hat just 2 days ago. Isn't it stunning?
Well, ma'am, personally, if I were a woman, I'd be afraid to wear this hat. Yes, some bird hunter might try to shoot me on the ride. Thank you, I think I better get her handkerchief instead. But thank you for your help.
Sheriff Hollister paid a visit to King Cahoon, ill-tempered gambler gunman.
Cahoon?
You seem to have the advantage. You know my name. I don't know yours, and you're standing behind me.
I haven't got a gun on you, if that's what you mean, and the name's Clay Hollister.
What do you want?
I'd like to have a little talk with you.
What about?
I'd just like to say hello to Tombstone's new citizen.
I've got no business with you, Sheriff.
Mr. Cahoon, you can make it hard on both of us, or you can make it easy on yourself.
Leave me alone, Sheriff. I don't like lawmen, and I don't like being pushed around.
You haven't been pushed around yet, but you keep working at it, and you'll make it.
I've done nothing. I'm a law-abiding citizen.
Is that why you got kicked out of Tucson? I said you could make it easy on yourself.
I like it the hard way.
All right. That's just the way you'll get it.
Well, here it is. Now, would you mind telling me why you wanted it?
Just a matter of curiosity.
for release?
No, sir, not yet. This way, please. Now, Captain, was the hat box Mrs. Ward was carrying anything like this one?
It might have been a different color, but they're all the same.
And the dispatch case you were carrying, are you sure it was this size?
I couldn't tell them apart, could I?
Now you know why I wanted the hat box. Captain, you can go back to your cell. I've got an idea you won't be there too long.
The evening of August 12, 1881. Tombstone heard gunfire for the second time that day.
Was Lieutenant Lowry hurt badly?
No, the doctor says he'll be up in around 3-4 days.
I don't think that shot was intended for Lowry.
You've been reading my mind.
You got any idea who's trying to kill you?
Yeah, several.
You want to give me some names? I can start setting a type.
Well, that's what I wanted to see you about. I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't print anything for a day or two.
Any way you want it, Clay.
Thanks.
May I come in?
Well, it's getting awfully late.
This won't take very long.
Well, if you've come to talk to my husband, Mr. Hollister, he's not at home. He's in Benson on a business matter.
No, I don't want to talk to Mr. Ward. I want to talk to you. You're leaving town.
A visit to my sister in St. Louis.
Oh, isn't Mr. Ward going with you?
Well, he might join me later if we sell the store.
Yes, I'd heard that business wasn't too good.
I'm sure you didn't come here to talk about that.
Well, there might be some connection.
I suppose it's about the money that was stolen from the stage.
Yes, partly.
Well, I should think you'd leave that matter to the military authorities.
It's gone beyond that now. See, somebody tried to kill me a little while ago.
How awful.
Yes,
And you think there's some connection between the two?
there could be.
That's rather far-fetched, isn't it? After all, a man in your position must have enemies.
I can think of several. Seems that I might have made a new one.
One more shouldn't matter. Now, are you quite through talking, Mr. Hollister?
I haven't had a chance to get started yet.
Seems to me if you'd spend more time running down criminals instead of annoying decent citizens, we all might benefit a little bit. Now, what about the man who tried to rob my husband?
Oh, I already know who that was. Yes, I'm pretty sure that was just a man who was hired to create a diversion when the stage pulled in.
Have you arrested him?
Not yet, but I will. Now, getting back to the robbery.
I'm afraid I've told you everything I have to
You
say.
say you went to Tucson on a shopping trip?
Yes.
How long were you gone?
Oh, just up and back. It doesn't take very long to look in all the shops.
And you didn't know the captain or Mr. Cahoon before that?
Of course not.
Do you remember, Mrs. Ward, if the captain got off the stage?
I'm afraid I don't. I heard the shots, I looked out and saw Enoch, and the next thing I knew, I was running.
It doesn't seem reasonable that a passerby just happened to steal the captain's dispatch case.
Well, wouldn't that mean that the captain was the logical suspect?
He is. He's in jail.
Well, then I would think you would consider the case closed.
I would. Except I just don't think he did it. See, there's one thing I am certain about. The captain couldn't have taken a shot at me. I'm sorry to have disturbed you.
A new hat?
Yes, it was the one thing I was able to buy in Tucson.
In Tucson?
Yes.
Do you mind if I have a look at it?
Of course not.
Thank you.
Pretty, isn't it?
Yes, very.
Well, are you satisfied, Mr. Hollister?
Yes. You see, I know you got that hat here in town. When you left Tucson, that case was empty. Where's the money, Mrs. Ward?
Curiosity can be a dangerous thing, Mr. Hollister. Get his gun, King.
I knew I should have thrown you out of town this afternoon.
Over against the wall. You finished packing, Amy. I have a carriage waiting. I wouldn't want to disturb the neighbors.
Enid, what are you doing here? I thought you were in Benson.
I changed my mind. What's going on here, Amy?
It's pretty plain, isn't it? They're running out on you.
Don't listen to him, Enid. We were going to pick you up in Benson.
I don't believe you, Amy. You're the one who thought up this trip.
No, Enid, no.
Now I know why you spent all that time in Tucson.
All right. What about it?
Only this.
Wait for me, King!
Sheriff! I told you not to push me too far.
I don't know how to thank you, Mr. Hollister.
Captain, you have yourself to thank. You see, we all believed in you.
You might give my regards to Mr. and Mrs. Ward.
Oh, well, I rarely get up to Yuma Prison on visiting days.
I guess I can hardly blame the Army for not telling me about the money. I'm afraid they've always thought of me as a book officer. They weren't sure how I'd stand up under fire.
You stood up real good. You still gonna resign, start that ranch?
Yes, sir.
Chickens?
Horses. I'm going to sell them to the Army.
Well, Ward's had it planned very well.
Yeah.
Enoch starting to shoot just when that stage arrived.
Mm-hmm. They would have gotten away with it, too, if Mrs. Ward hadn't have bought that hat.
Well, looks like another unexciting day.
Harris, will you do me a favor? Never say that again.
Whistle me up a memory, whistle me back where I wanna be, whistle a tune that'll carry me to Tombstone territory. If your past has run afoul of the law, it's a handy place to be, 'cause your future's just as good as your draw in Tombstone territory. Whistle me up a memory, whistle me back where I wanna be, to Tombstone territory.
A road near Tombstone, Arizona Territory, September 16, 1889. Wally Joby and Chick Umber, professional killers. Hired by the Hammond faction of the Tanner-Hammond land and cattle feud, a bloody range war spreading throughout the territory. So far, 23 men had died. Every road outside Tombstone was a potential death trap.
Hey, Joe. Look.
Well, now, ain't that Fred Tanner's kid?
Yeah. Well, what about that talk about the range war stopping and all us going free?
Don't you fret none, chick. We're still getting paid, and as far as we're concerned, the war's still on.
Like a setting duck.
Another $50. Tombstone territory. An actual account from the pages of my newspaper, the Tombstone Epitaph. This is the way it happened, in the town too tough to die.
Hey, Joe. You think we're pushing our luck riding right into Tombstone?
You know something about yourself, chick? You're a worrier.
Sheriff Hollister?
Yeah?
From General Claybank. He said it was urgent.
Thank you. To the amnesty. By authorization from Washington, the governor of the Territory of Arizona orders all involved principals to immediately lay down their arms and take oaths to keep the peace. Anyone breaking the amnesty will be summarily court-martialed and executed. Otherwise, all participants are fully pardoned.
Does that mean Joby and Umber? Why, they've killed 7 men.
That's what it means, Wayne. It's like the armistice at the end of any war. After a couple of years of fighting, the issues get confused and there's right and wrong on both sides. So a full pardon is the only practical solution. Got to end somewhere.
Begging your pardon, sir, but I saw those 2 gunmen you mentioned, Joby and Umber. Some out on the trail riding in, only a couple of miles out of town.
Well, thank you very much, but they're not wanted men anymore. Unless they break this amnesty, I can't touch them. Fred Tanner's in town buying supplies. I'll administer the oath to him. You ride out to Hammond's place and make sure that he understands all of the conditions, and then swear him in. That'll end it. Fred.
Still chasing Hammond's hired gunman? Or have you quit trying?
I wouldn't say that.
$50 a man Josh Hammond pays them. You haven't even touched them. They're murderers, cold-blooded murderers.
There was a lot of blood spilled on both sides, Fred. Besides, I need proof to arrest anybody. And I'm not looking for him anymore. Neither are you. The amnesty's come through. It's all over.
I'd be glad. Except for that Joby and that Umber.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. Come on over to my office. I'll give you the oath. Wayne's out getting Hammonds now.
All right, Clay. You know the real reason I'm glad it's finished? After 3 years of shooting and killing, it's not so much the land anymore, nor what this sort of thing has done to me. It's what it might do to my son. Les was 14 when it started. He's 17 now, and figures he's big enough to help out with a gun. Or be killed by one.
Got some official business for you.
Well, this is one notice I'll be happy to print. Free.
Les, what happened?
Ambushed. Don't know who.
$20 enough?
Yeah, you post one of them, I'll take care of the rest.
All right.
Thanks.
Well, we should do it. Just wish it had come about 15 lives sooner. Better get Clay.
You're the newspaper man?
That's right.
I sure hope the rest of the people in this town know how to read. Ain't that right, Chick?
Oh, we ain't about to break the amnesty. Only it don't say nothing about self-defense. In case somebody else starts something.
Well, hello, Sheriff. Sure nice to meet you after all this time. Ain't it nice, Chick?
Oh, sure is.
Listen carefully, Joby. As far as I'm concerned, you and your partner are nothing but murderers, amnesty or no.
But I'm not going to run you out of town, because I want you here. I want you real close. And if you so much as wiggle a trigger finger, I'm going to haul you in.
Sheriff, we ain't gonna wiggle nothing. Unless somebody else wiggles first. Say, in case you want us, we'll be over at the Oriental Saloon celebrating our new standing in the community.
They're going to make it a bitter pill to swallow, aren't they?
Yeah, they're going to try.
Hello, Ellen.
Hi.
Anything coming on those telegrams you sent out?
Yes. No one seems to have anything definite on them.
No, just a chance. I was hoping I could turn up something. Wally Joby, known member of the Wild Bunch, suspected bank robber. No proof or warrant. Provo, Utah. Wally Joby and Chick Umber questioned in killings during Santa Fe sheep and cattle war last year. No proof. And the same thing, Pecos, Texas. There's not a warrant in the bunch. They played it pretty smooth. I still can't touch them.
Can't touch them? What are you talking about?
Forgot you hadn't heard. Here. Thanks, Ellen. Yes, Fred?
Look in the back.
bless. He was still alive when I found him. Didn't even know who did it. Somebody ambushed him. Who do you think did it? I wanted you to know, Clay. I wanted you to know why I'm going to find Joby and Umber and kill them myself.
Look, Fred, I've known you a long time. I know how you feel. But you can't break the amnesty. Otherwise, I'll have to arrest you. The court might hang you.
You mean you'd stand for them against me?
I mean, I've got to enforce the law no matter how I feel. Besides, you don't know that Joby and Umber did it.
I'll ask him to make sure. Just before I kill him, I'll ask him.
Hey, Mr. Tanner. Mr. Tanner, we sure are sorry about the kid.
How did you know?
Well, nobody told us about the amnesty, and when the boy come along with...
No, Fred! I'll be back. Next time, things will be different. I'll bring enough men to do it my way.
Sheriff, we want to thank you. You know, we don't want nobody breaking that there amnesty.
I don't do anything foolish.
Sheriff just got a little excited, that's all. We got nothing to worry about. Not with the law protecting us the way it does.
Joby! Something for you to remember. There's one man the amnesty doesn't include.
Who?
Me.
The afternoon of September 16, 1889. A day Sheriff Clay Hollister stood alone to uphold the laws he was sworn to enforce. Here you are, bartender. That ought to cover it. And that ought to cover another bottle.
Let it never be said that we're breaking the law.
Right. There you go.
I feel like a little poker, Chick. How about you?
Sure.
What about Tanner?
He ain't gonna bother us none. You saw what the sheriff did. Next time he'll use his gun if he has to. Bring the bottle. You two gentlemen would like us to join you, wouldn't you?
Yeah, wouldn't you?
It's mighty obliging of you. Let's see here. 10, 20, 40, 50. Seems like all our money comes in $50 batches nowadays.
350, 400, 450, 500. Well, that's it, Clay. $500 reward to the man who kills Wally Joby and Chick Umber, donated by the citizens of Tombstone.
What do they want from me? They elected me to this office to uphold the law, and now they offer a reward to go out and break the law.
Well, they feel pretty strongly about it.
Well, you know how I feel about it.
Yeah. So do they. That's why they gave me the money instead of you.
You can just give it back to him.
An amnesty is a truce to stop wanton killings, a searing medicine to clean the gaping wounds of war, but which can leave little sores of infection to fester and spread.
Joby.
Hello, Sheriff.
I want you and Umber out of town now.
Well, 30 minutes ago you were telling us we had to stay.
Well, I changed my mind.
Well, you have. Well, we ain't.
I said now. Try it.
Now, Sheriff, we ain't gonna start anything. You want us to leave, we leave. I guess you're ace high. First town I ever saw where a single ace beat two of a kind. How much time we got? I sure would like a drink first.
30 minutes.
Clay? Harris said you probably were here.
Outside, Ellen.
There's trouble, Clay. At the post office, I overheard them. Most of the merchants, Maddox, Wilson, Richardson, they plan to join Fred Tanner when he comes back. What are you going to do?
Well, there's not much I can do except get them out of town. 2 killers going free to kill again.
If there was only some way we could get them to break the amnesty.
They're not about to. I've thought about it. How to force them or even trick them out into the open.
I guess it would take something pretty extra special.
Yeah, they're hiding behind that amnesty and they're not extra special. Extra special, that's it. Where's Harris?
He's in his office, I think.
Thanks.
But I haven't completed a conversation with you all day.
Harris. I know how I can do it. I can force Joby and Umber out into the open, up from under the protection of the amnesty. But I need your help.
Well, sure, Clay. What do you want me to...
Front page of the epitaph. Is it all set up?
Yeah.
Well, can you change it?
Change it?
Yeah. Here's a headline for a front page story I need fast.
Well, you don't think anything of ruining 3 hours' work, do you?
It's for a very special extra edition of the paper. Just one copy, in fact.
Just a moment, please. Now, may I help? I know who you are. If you're smart, you'll ride out of Tombstone. Fred Tanner's on his way here with his men, and Clay, the sheriff, won't be able to stop them, and...
Funny, you know, that's just what we were thinking, since we hear they got a small army. Of course, if you were to ride with us, nobody'd do any shooting, would they? So I figure we'll just wait here till Tanner gets here, and then you and me and Chick will just sort of mosey out of town.
Just in case they slip through, 2 of you take the east road. We'll meet you at the edge of town. Don't forget, I want those 2. All right, let's go.
At the request of Sheriff Clay Hollister, I rolled out a special edition. Amnesties restricted to members of Tanner Hammond families only. All hired killers and gunmen to pay for their crimes.
15 minutes. Quick work.
I'll just make sure they see it pronto.
Yeah, I'll be waiting for you. Here you go. And Harris, be careful.
Hey, Chick, let's load the saloon, get us a couple of bottles. While we're waiting, we might as well get a little sociable.
Seem like no time to be messing with drinking, Wally.
You just quit thinking and get it.
All right.
Umber, the sheriff's looking for you.
Yeah, what for?
You mean you haven't heard? What's right here?
They can't do this. They can't do this. We gotta get out of here. They changed the amnesty.
Well, it can't be this way. Something gone wrong. Hey, get back here, fool!
Get away from that horse, Sheriff. I said get away from that horse.
Yeah. And where's Joby? Telegraph office, I think.
All right, Joby. Come on out.
Now, don't ask for it. Now, don't come any closer, Sheriff, or I'll kill her.
You can't get away with this.
Why not? Nobody's gonna shoot you. Let her go, Joby.
You can't get a mile out of town.
I'll make it.
You think Tanner's gonna let you go?
You call Tanner off or I'm gonna kill her.
You hurt her and I'll beat you to death.
Joby.
Whatever you have to do. I mean with me for breaking the amnesty. It's all right, Clay. I don't care now.
When they shot at me, Fred, they lost their protection. Terms of the amnesty have been carried out. For those that broke it, they asked for it. Execution.
You know, Clay, I sort of hate to break up this front page. First time in my career I ever put out a one-copy extra.
You better save the paper. Someday it might be a collector's item.
They were safe until they tried to shoot it out. You sure came up with an ace in the hole.
What makes you say that?
I heard about it. Joby had it figured right at the Oriental.
What do you mean?
Wonder if he knew he was playing for such high stakes when he said this was the only town he'd ever been in where a singleton ace beats two of a kind.
Whistle me up a memory, whistle me back where I wanna be, whistle a tune that'll carry me to Tombstone territory. If your past has run afoul of the law, it's a handy place to be, 'cause your future's just as good as your draw in Tombstone territory. Whistle me up a memory, whistle me back where I wanna be, to Tombstone territory.
Tombstone, Arizona Territory. October 27, 1886.
You're early. Harper won't be here until tomorrow.
Well, I like to rest up before a job.
You got any baggage?
I'm wearing it. Clay, look who just flew in from Tucson.
Oh, I didn't know Caswell was that scared.
Maybe he's just being practical. Young Harper gets in town tomorrow. He's awful fast on the draw.
So's Caswell.
I've got horses at the livery stable.
Caswell is 55, Harper is 24. If he were coming in town to kill me, I'd probably hire myself a gun, too.
Might do better to see me first.
Caswell.
Introduce me to your friend.
Chuck Ashley, Sheriff Hollister.
You passing through?
Stop by for a visit.
You get a short one. We don't want gunfighters in Tombstone.
Man's entitled to protect himself as he sees fit. Just mind your own business, Hollister.
Your feud with the Harpers has reduced both families to the last man. Why don't you drop it?
Tell that to Harper and see what it gets you.
Ashley, one wrong move, no matter how slight, I'll slap you behind bars.
Is it against the law to spit in Tombstone?
Will be if you do it.
An actual account from the pages of my newspaper, the Tombstone Epitaph. This is the way it happened, in the town too tough to die. Tombstone Territory. October 28, 1886. It was trouble that came to Tombstone on the following morning, and its name was Jeff Harper.
Hello, Jeff.
Still here, huh, Sheriff?
Not wearing guns, I see.
That's right. Jail broke me of the habit.
Sam Caswell will be happy to hear that. He thinks you've come back to make good your threat to kill him.
What do you think?
Well, I figure time makes a man smarter. You've had 5 years.
So is Caswell. Is he any smarter or just older?
You just mind your P's and Q's, nobody will bother you. Step out of line, I'll have to jump you.
Well, I see the Harpers are still marked no good in Tombstone.
You both paid a price. Caswell was laid up for a year after your ambush. You went to jail.
The way I figure it, that puts Caswell 4 years up on me.
You had fair warning, Jeff.
You've done your duty, Sheriff. Now let me do mine, huh?
Sneak a loop, Rafe. $10 says he's dead by morning. 20 says Caswell gets it first. You're on.
Jeff! Jeff Harp, welcome back, Jeff. Nice to see you. Welcome back, Jeff.
Thank you, Joe.
Set him up, Joe, and make a doubles for Jeff.
Oh, hold on. It's been 5 years since I've even smelled this.
Here's to our friend Jeff, huh?
Here to you, Jeff. Wow.
Oh, boy.
I didn't know I had any friends left.
Why, I've always been fond of you, Jeff. You know that. Hey, Caswell's been getting right prosperous since you were away. Land, cattle, horses. He's done right smart by himself. I guess you're going to change his luck, aren't you? Look towards the door. His name's Ashley, a gunfighter from Dodge City. Caswell brought him into town yesterday. He don't give you half a chance, does he?
Fill it up, Joe. Go easy, Jeff. I said fill it up.
Do as he says, Joe. I'm paying.
You're a real friend, aren't you? You know, things are really going to the dogs around here. I can remember when a man didn't hire a two-bit gunfighter to do his dirty work. You know, boys, I met a lot of two-bit gunfighters in jail. Tall ones, short ones, fat ones, skinny ones. All kinds. All kinds, and they all had one thing in common. There wasn't a man among them.
Barton. Buy the loudmouth a drink.
I buy my own.
I said buy the loudmouth a drink.
You bought it. You drink it.
Let's see how much of a man you are. Give him a gun, somebody.
I'll take care of you when I get good and ready.
I say you're ready right now. You give him a gun.
Don't worry, Jeff. You can take him.
Hold it.
You build your reputation by killing men after they've been drinking?
Easy, Sheriff. I've got no quarrel with you yet.
Oh, is that a threat?
Well, now why should I threaten you? Star, no star. We're just alike. Hired guns, that's all we are.
The whole thing's a mistake, Clay. Elmer bought Jeff a few drinks too many.
Why blame me? I was only being friendly.
Yeah. Hey, we all know you, Elmer. You're a man's best friend. All right, Jeff, let's go.
You're just not happy unless you're pushing somebody around, are you?
Boy, you sure make it easy for a man to dislike you. Now start moving.
Harper. Next time we meet, wear guns. And leave your nursemaid at home. Any questions on who's a man and who isn't?
Let me buy the man a drink.
What'd you bring me here for?
Want to show you something?
Boy, I got a headache.
Yeah? Maybe this will cure it. Some of your relatives, Jeff. Pete, Joe, Mike. Some of the Caswells. There's Lamb and Bert, Dan, Eddie. This is a particularly interesting one. Terry Wayne, 1881. He wasn't either a Harper or a Caswell. Came out here from St. Louis with his wife and 2 kids to make his fortune. Got a job with the Caswells. 2 days later, he was killed in a Harper ambush. He didn't even know what he died for. Is that the tradition you've come back for?
Don't you think I'm sick of this whole thing? I don't want to kill Caswell. I just came back to sell my land. I want to go to California, where nobody's ever heard of the Caswells or the Harpers. Everybody starts pushing me around. Even you.
I can only act on what a man does and says.
You still think I'm a killer?
It's Caswell that needs reassuring.
Oh, no. No, not as long as he's got Ashley. And the feud goes on and on.
You can stop it.
How?
By telling Caswell just what you told me.
You wouldn't believe me.
Look, he's stubborn, but he's not stupid. You can get through to him if you really want to.
Well, I'll give it a try.
That's close enough.
Take it easy, Sam. You want to talk, not shoot. Put your gun away.
Stay where you are. Speak your piece and then get off my property.
Caswell, who told you I was coming back here to kill you?
You did. 5 years ago. Everyone knows the Harpers always make good their threats.
Did you ever figure that maybe everyone could be wrong?
You're a Harper.
You're a Caswell. What's that guiding us?
It'll get you some lead if you don't clear out.
I wouldn't live in the same town with you. I just came back here to sell my land and get as far away from you as possible.
I'm not stopping you.
Yeah, but your gunfighter is.
Ashley? What about him?
Trying to force Jeff into a shootout.
That wasn't in our agreement. I only hired him for protection.
Protection from what? A man who hasn't touched a gun in 5 years? Or did you think they'd let me practice in jail?
I never liked Ashley when I saw him. Well, that puts a different light on things, don't it?
Better get rid of him before there's serious trouble, Sam.
All right. Just the same, I'm wearing a gun from now on. And I'll keep on wearing it as long as you're in Tombstone. And don't worry about Ashley. I'll ride into town with you right now and handle him.
No offense, boys, just practicing.
Man could get killed that way, huh?
Yes, that's a fact, isn't it? Drink?
Sheriff and I got things straightened out with Harper, so I won't be needing you anymore. Here's your fee. You can count it.
You wouldn't cheat me. Just drop it on the bureau. Had a nice town here, Sheriff.
There's a westbound stage leaving this afternoon.
And one tomorrow afternoon, and one the day after, and one the day after that. Why the hurry?
Look, Ashley, there's nothing to keep you here.
You're wrong. Both of you. See, Harper said things that no man's ever said to me.
It was the whiskey talking.
I don't see it that way. I don't see it that way at all. See, until I get things settled up with Harper, I'm not leaving Tombstone.
Some people with that attitude have stayed here permanently. Up on Boot Hill.
The afternoon of October 28, 1886, marked the end of the Harper-Caswell feud and the beginning of more trouble.
Well, don't let me disturb you.
You're not. Just thought you might like to see a proof of next week's headline. Sheriff Hollister ends Harper-Caswell feud.
That'd be a better headline in the making.
Now, Clay, I can't be resetting type every half an hour.
You seen Jerry Harper around?
And he was with Elmer Fern trying to make a deal on his land.
Harris, do me a favor, will you?
You name it.
Keep an eye on Harper.
You expecting trouble from him?
No, but he may walk into it.
Well, I thought the feud was over.
It is. But Chuck Ashley is still in town. Let me know for a sign of trouble.
All right.
Hollister,
Yeah?
aren't you going to do anything about Ashley?
He hasn't committed a crime yet.
What are you going to do? Wait until he kills somebody?
I'll take care of Ashley when I think it's the proper time.
I'm telling you, the time is now.
I'm getting real tired of you, Caswell. You make a mess and then you expect other people to clean it up for you.
That's your job, Hollister. That's what you're paid for.
Clay! I can recommend that gun highly. It's a veteran. Pick it up.
$10 Harper refuses.
$10 says he don't.
What are you waiting for? Your nursemaid to come pick it up for you? I've heard it said that the Harpers are a fighting family. Are you sure your name is Harper? Leave it alone!
Turn around, slowly.
You see, your nursemaid got here in time.
I said turn. Hand me a gun.
There's no law in Tombstone that says a man can't carry his gun.
There is now for you.
I get $500 a job. What's your salary?
I'm waiting for your gun.
It always seems to narrow down to you and me, doesn't it, Sheriff? Topper I want, not a substitute.
Get it, Jeff. The other one.
Your luck can't last.
That westbound stage is due in half an hour. You're going to be on it, as my guest.
I don't leave without my guns.
You get him at the stage.
That means that I've got 30 minutes to make my mind up, right?
I don't care how long you think about it, but you're going to be on that stage.
Well, boys, I've got a pocket full of silver and 30 minutes to spend it in. Who'll join me in the Oriental?
I was going to pick up that gun.
I know. I saw you go for it.
So did I, Jeff.
Some people will say that I saw you coming, that it was just an empty gesture.
It doesn't matter what they say.
Yes, it does. It does to me. You've left me no choice, Sheriff. I'm going to have to prove them wrong. Harper, 1882. I watched him die, Sheriff. I was a big man, a big laugh, a big capacity for life. He used to say, when you die, die well. He died well. He took on 3 Caswells all by
Man
himself.
can die well and still die for the wrong things.
Well, pride isn't one of them. I can't live without pride.
Yeah. Neither could they, and not one of them lived past the age of 40.
You're not going to talk me out of this, Sheriff.
Jeff, you haven't handled a gun in 5 years. You take on Ashley, that's not bravery, that's suicide.
Yeah, maybe you mean well. But I don't need a nursemaid anymore.
All right, Jeff. From now on, Tombstone's out of bounds for you. You set 1 foot in town before Ashley leaves, I'm slapping you in jail.
Believe me, Hollister, I didn't expect all this fuss. I was only trying to protect myself against Harper. I'm 55 years old, Hollister. Life becomes more precious to you as you get older.
Harper's 24. Don't you think life's precious to him, too?
Well, it's a dog-eat-dog world. I know if there's any real trouble, you'll take care of it.
Thanks. Stage is pulling in. I hear the smart money is betting that Ashley won't be taking it.
Well, boys, do I take the stage or don't I?
$30 says Ashley don't take it.
$60 says he does.
You all ready? May I have my guns, please?
Certainly.
You just made yourself a big mistake, Sheriff.
Something wrong, Ashley?
There were bullets in these guns when I gave them to you.
Oh. Buy yourself a new supply in Tucson. Let's go.
Step aside, Sheriff. I've got some unfinished business with Ashley.
You're wasting your time, Jeff. There are no bullets in his guns.
Get out of the way.
I'm telling you the truth, Jeff.
You're through telling me anything. Now step aside.
Look, there's no point in challenging an unarmed man.
Look, for the last time, I don't want to shoot you down, too.
Sheriff. Come on, Ashley. Come on, Sheriff. Come on, Ashley. Get him, boy. Get him.
There you go, boy.
Satisfied, Caswell? Earned my paycheck this month?
That was pretty neat shooting, Sheriff.
Well, I've had 5 years more practice than you have. Aren't you gonna need this in California?
Yeah, I probably would. That's why I've decided to stay here.
I guess it's better to bury feuds instead of men. Will you join us in a drink at the Oriental?
No, thank you. That doesn't come under the heading of official business.
Alistair, you're getting to be as hot-tempered as I am. I never saw you beat anybody the way you beat up Ashley. What came over you?
Well, it's easy. Every time I hit Ashley, I thought about you.
Guess I deserve that. Let's go down and get that drink and see if we can get to know each other.
Well, Harris, what's your new headline for next week's epitaph?
It's 3 days till deadline. Knowing you, I think I'd better just wait and see.
me up a memory. Whistle me back where I wanna be. Whistle a tune that'll carry me to Tombstone territory. If your past has run afoul of the law, it's a handy place to be. 'Cause your future's just as good as your draw in Tombstone territory. Whistle me up a memory. Whistle me back where I wanna be, to Tombstone territory.
Tombstone, Arizona Territory, August 12, 1885. The Birdcage Theater had just ended the successful engagement of the fabulous Miss Anita Torson.
Well, help me. We have to catch that stage.
Well, if you'd get rid of some of these silly costumes.
Well, they're not so silly. This is the dress I was wearing in Virginia City when you came backstage and introduced yourself.
Well, they're not too silly. What's wrong?
Nothing. I've just heard a lot of broken promises.
Oh, of marriage? Well, the promise is in the future. And that's almost within reach.
After this?
Come on. We gotta get that stage.
Oh, sure. If it isn't running for a stagecoach, it's running for something else. It's the sheriff. Hurry, get out of here. Well, I'm glad to see someone. Would you help me, please, Sheriff?
Help you?
The dray man hasn't come yet, and I'm going to be late for the stagecoach.
Well, I've asked the stage to wait for a few minutes while I had a word with you.
Oh, I suppose you want my autograph.
No, ma'am, I have something to give you.
Well, how nice. What a surprise. What is it?
Warrant for your arrest.
An actual account from the pages of my newspaper, the Tombstone Epitaph. This is the way it happened, in the town too tough to die. Tombstone Territory.
What kind of nonsense is this? If you're making a joke, it's a stupid one.
It's no joke, ma'am. In the last 6 months, there have been 8 stagecoach robberies. Question is where the loot's hidden. The authorities in Tucson seem to think you might have the answer.
Well, I suppose you think it's hidden on me.
No, ma'am, not on you. In your trunk.
Oh, now, Sheriff. I'm sorry I lost my temper, but, well, this is ridiculous, and I'm in such a hurry. See? Nothing but costumes. Now, can I go?
Surely, ma'am, as soon as I finish searching.
Very well, then, search. Oh, this is so embarrassing. And we're wasting such valuable time, and the stagecoach is...
We'll wait. The dresses.
May I see that one, please?
Let go of it.
Is that about all of it? You might as well tell me.
Why?
Miss Torson, you'll be facing a trial in Tucson. If you cooperate, it might be easier for you. You see, about all I know is that the leader in these holdups is a man by the name of Boone Cahill. But I don't even know what he looks like. You do.
That's your problem, Sheriff.
All right. But it's quite a stage trip to Tucson. Maybe you'll change your mind on the way.
I'm getting off at Benson.
Tucson.
All right. But it is a long ride to Tucson, and you just might meet Boone Cahill along the way. You'll spot him all right, because he'll be the one shooting at you.
Can't hold it up any longer, Sheriff. I'm way behind schedule now.
Well, you just have to make up time then.
If you say so. You want to put that on top of the rest of the baggage?
No, keep it with me.
Going to be a little crowded, Sheriff, but I didn't know you was going to make this trip.
Crowded is right. Say, you know either one of those two men?
No, neither one. Why?
I just thought you might. Let's roll.
Get up, Brownie!
You're, Sheriff Clay Hollister.
That's right.
Dr. Davis from San Mateo.
Nice to meet you.
You know, you're pretty well known around Arizona.
Hello, Gorman. Pleasure to see you again, Sheriff.
Oh, you two know each other.
I spent 6 months in a Tombstone jail, courtesy of Sheriff Clay Hollister. You're a lucky man. Majority vote was to hang you. I know. You just called me a tin horn, threw me in. I'm grateful. I only hope someday I can show you how grateful.
Gentlemen, we got a long trip together. Let's all calm down.
You're right, Doc.
Absolutely. And you know, with this Boone Cahill gang running loose, I'm just as happy to have a lawman along. I just hope it's going to be a peaceful journey. Good to have your company. You and Mrs. Hollister.
Gentlemen, this lady is my prisoner. So during our stops, I'd appreciate it if you neither spoke to nor approached her. Sorry if that sounds unfriendly, but it's the way it's got to be.
Of course, Sheriff. You're only doing your duty.
Why, sure. Aren't you afraid she might escape? Healthy woman like that? And only one sheriff to handle her. You just remember what I said, Gorman.
Well, it's going to be a long trip. Good night.
That was a very impressive speech, Sheriff. Afraid there might be a gentleman on the stagecoach who might try and help me.
Doesn't it come through to you that their problem is to make sure that you don't testify? There's only one way that they can make sure.
Well, I'm not worried, so don't try to frighten me. Besides, I don't want to betray my...
Betray your friend? The gentleman that killed an unarmed stage agent? The friendly fellow that pistol-whipped the passenger to death?
Boone Cahill never murdered anyone.
Would you care to talk to the agent's widow or his kids?
I don't care to talk at all.
What are you doing? Man, can't you see that buckboard up ahead? Must be some trouble. Stopping for him.
No, you're not.
We've got to stop or we'll run right through them.
It'll be just fine. We keep on rolling.
Oh, no, we don't. Move!
Let's see you drive.
Yeah!
What's going on? I don't know.
You going loco, Sheriff? Fellas must be stopped for a reason.
I agree.
If we don't stop, we're going to run right through them.
That's the idea. No, don't shoot. We'll only rile him.
Slow him now. Rest him up that way station up ahead. Give him a drink. I can stand one myself.
That was a close call. Huh? That was close. You'll never know.
It is going to be a long trip.
The afternoon of August 12, 1885. A way station on the road to Tucson, a destination that some of the people were not to reach alive.
Who were they back there? Highwaymen?
Yeah, Boone Cahill's bunch. Same thing.
Would have been wiser to stop and be robbed. Might have all been shot.
We weren't. Say, you got a little drink in there?
Yeah. You can also get food.
Well, you go to your church and I'll go to mine.
Driver, you gonna water your horses?
After I get a drink.
You stay with me. We'll water the horses.
How very romantic. I'm starving. Think more of animals than you do of people?
Sometimes it's hard to tell the difference. One thing, animals don't try to knife you.
Everybody up here to the center of the room. Gorman?
Were you speaking to me, Sheriff?
Keep your hands clear and give me your gun. This man go out?
Yeah, he sure did. Out back the rest of us to wash up.
Yeah. Well, somebody tried to knife me out there. One of you. I don't know which one, so I want all of your guns. I'll sit on them for the rest of the trip.
Well, you're swinging a lot of weight for a man that's out of his territory, Sheriff. He's right. I'm supposed to have the say-so on this trip.
Why, Clay, you seem to be getting unpopular.
Sorry, Sheriff, but without some authority...
You see my authority.
Yeah, if you put it that way.
That's the way I put it.
Well, I'm going out.
Sure, friend. Just as soon as you give me your gun.
Yeah. Well, listen. I am tired of taking your orders, Bucko. Just who do you think you are telling me what to do?
Why, didn't you know? This is the great Clay Hollister. Claims he's the toughest man in Arizona Territory.
Him? Listen. You take off them irons and I'll break you in two.
This sounds more interesting than food. Sorry, I'm a peace officer. I'll have to forego that pleasure. Your gun.
Drop it, Clay. Drop it. Come on, now, I've got it. Are you out of your mind?
Why, no. I just don't like seeing my old friend Clay Hollister shot down. You surprise me, Gorman.
After he threw you in jail and called you a tin horn?
That he did, lady. But he also did something else. He kept a mob from stretching my neck. I don't like you, Hollister, but I pay my debts. Fair enough. I did get bounced around a bit, and I'd like to even that out, too. So, my hairy friend, if you'd like to bounce the sheriff around a little, go right ahead.
What? Oh, sure.
Are you sure you want to play it this way, Gorman? Quite sure. You've got a big reputation, Hollister. I want to be impressed.
Come on, old man.
Very well, Sheriff. You win all the marbles. Thanks. All right, now you can all go outside as soon as you check your guns. Driver?
Yeah.
Search them.
You mean the lady, too?
No, I've already had that pleasure. Doctor.
As you wish. But I want it back when we get to Tucson.
Next.
All right, prize fighter. On your feet. I ain't no prize fighter.
Yes, we know.
Hey, what are you? Miner or an arsenal?
Oh, the man has to protect himself in Arizona. Yeah, he's right, Sheriff.
All right, let's go.
It was a nice try you made,
Thanks.
but a hopeless one. Can't you get it through your head that all Cahill wants is you dead?
That's a lie.
Why do you think they shot at the stage?
I'm not interested. Sorry.
All right, I'll do it my way.
Cahill! Boone Cahill, I'm talking to you. One of you is a murderer. The next stop is Tucson. When we get there, you're a dead man.
But, Sheriff, I thought you said you didn't know who Cahill was.
I didn't, but I do now.
I didn't tell you a thing.
That's all right. You're safe now. There are no more stops between here and Tucson.
I know what you're trying to do, but I didn't tell you anything.
What are you so nervous about? I thought you said you weren't afraid of Cahill.
I'm not.
Then you've got nothing to worry about.
Look here, Sheriff. We all know what you're trying to do. Forces Cahill to make a move. But personally, I can't approve of the way you're going about it.
Tell me, what's your interest?
Why?
Open the bag.
Now, what is this?
You say you're a doctor.
Well, of course. Everybody knows Dr. Davis.
Well, let's see what you know. Empty it.
Sheriff, may I suggest... You know, you're nervous and a little overwrought. I think these pills will fix you up just fine.
No, thank you.
Did you think I was your gunman?
Just being careful. Empty the bag.
You know, it's a funny thing.
Honest, Clay, honest. I didn't know he was one of them.
You did just fine. Better get this stage moving. We'll be late for your trial.
You're not going to get away with this, Sheriff. You just wait till the boys...
Cahill's dead. Little gang's finished, and so are you. Gorman, you're now a deputy.
Well, okay, Sheriff. As long as you promise not to let anybody find out.
I guess that makes me the driver. Well, Anita, how do you feel? You ready to face your trial?
I guess. It's almost worth it to be clear and out of all of this. I'll survive it somehow.
Before I go in, I have one last request.
Well, what?
Well, half hour ago, I was hungry. Now I'm as starved as a timber wolf in a blizzard.
Miss Torson, when we get to Tucson, I personally am going to buy you the biggest dinner in town.
Thanks.
My pleasure. I won't even bill it to the territory.
Up, Rowdy!
Whistle me up a memory, whistle me back where I wanna be, whistle a tune that'll carry me to Tombstone territory. If your past has run afoul of the law, it's a handy place to be, 'cause your future's just as good as your draw in Tombstone territory. Whistle me up a memory, whistle me back where I wanna be, to Tombstone territory.